The church, since its beginning, has faced challenges to its authentic witness and to effective ministries of compassion, reconciliation, and justice. The need for vision and the reality of opposition also faced Nehemiah as he entreated Cyrus, "Send me to rebuild." Today, in the United States, a culture of individualism, materialism, relativism, and secularism has contributed to a decline in the church's attendance, membership, and mission impact. Many persons have left their childhood faith, and it is more and more difficult to reach youth and young adults with the gospel message. Yet, we continue to believe that the local church is one of the primary instruments through which God's healing, saving, reconciling, renewing, and empowering grace and justice are shared with the world. If the church is to fulfill this calling, the church must have pastors equipped for transformational leadership. Ken Schumann, who has extensive experience as a pastor and as a denominational staff member working with church revitalization, is now the pastor of the Wellspring community in Tomball, Texas. From his vantage point as the planter of a missional church, Ken says,
well, the challenges we face now are challenges of how to effectively reach people who seem to not really be interested in God at all. It's not that they don't believe in God, it's simply that they don't think God is important to their everyday lives. And we also face the challenge then of many people in our culture, and in Houston we're right in the middle of the Bible Belt, who have quit going to church, who don't see the church as relevant to who they are or what they're doing, or even relevant to their spiritual journeys. Many of these people are spiritually minded. They're interested and willing to talk about spiritual things, including Jesus, but they are somewhat, in fact, they're in many cases a great deal turned off by the typical church, whether that be in its traditional form or even in its contemporary form. And so the challenges are, how do you connect with people who see no value in what you do?
more than ever, the church today has a pressing need for pastoral leaders who are gifted, spiritually mature, and skilled. Leaders with a clear vision for an effective gospel ministry and mission. The Nehemiah Leadership Network addresses this need through a unique program designed to empower pastors to generate contextualized solutions and answers to today's challenges.
In my work with congregational transformation, one thing has become absolutely clear to me. The single biggest factor in determining how well a congregation can respond to the challenge of transformation today is the ability of the pastor to be a transformational leader. That is far more important than the techniques, the how-tos, the workshops. Those things are important, but it's the pastor's ability to be a transformational leader. Now, when I say that, I mean more than just knowledge, book knowledge, learning. It means the pastor needs to themselves be transformed and transforming. That can't be scripted. It can only be lived. It can be coached. It can be fostered. We can help to equip pastors to do that, but we can't script it as a how-to. That's what Nehemiah tries to do. It tries to be that agency that steps in to help to equip pastors to be change agents by helping them to be on intentional paths of transformation. So Nehemiah, one of the unique features of the Nehemiah Leadership Network is to allow pastors to script their own learning path, their own learning goals. But then Nehemiah provides the structure and the tools to help the pastors to realize those learning goals, the structure of peer learning communities, of coaching that really helps pastors turn that learning goal into action on the ground in their ministry.
The network asks each minister to commit to a 3-year process that includes assessment of leadership skills and emotional intelligence, and preparation of an individualized learning contract and annual objectives based on this assessment. The goal is that each participant experience the personal and professional growth that will enable them to lead transformational change in their own place of ministry. A group of colleagues, brought together and guided by a mentor, meet regularly to review progress and provide mutual support and accountability. Annual conferences provide times for worship, fellowship, and teaching presentations by outstanding speakers. Bernadine Ladson is a pastor of a congregation in Long Island, New York. She has found her commitment to the Nehemiah Leadership Network to be of great personal and professional value.
Well, I actually started the program under the recommendation of the regional minister for my area, and I'm in a church that's in the midst of heavy transition, and the Nehemiah Leadership Network just seemed to be the perfect place for someone in the situation that I was in. Oh, it's been very helpful. I think even before looking at the specific objectives, just the idea of having intentionality in leadership has been very, very important. To be paying attention to what you're doing, you know, not just even on a year-to-year basis, but even month-to-month, having to have conversations with your mentor, with your group, to talk about what's happening with you and what that process is. I think so many times in leadership, and it could be in any arena, but specifically in the church, that there's this long stretch of time that we may look at and expect to see changes and results over a long stretch of time, but we don't pay attention to the journey. And so I think that the Nehemiah Leadership Network is really important because it allows you the chance to pay attention to the journey. And in doing that, you recognize the bumps and the bruises that come along with it. And when you do that, you just have so much more appreciation for what the end will be, no matter what that may be. So,
as with Bernadine, many other persons in ministry are finding in the Nehemiah Leadership Network an opportunity to evaluate themselves, to set goals, and to grow as they are supported by colleagues. Arlen Vernava, who has recently completed his 3-year participation, speaks about his network experience.
The reason I came into the program that I started, it felt to me like I was at a point in my ministry where I wanted some intentional learning, a community of accountability, and I was interested in a program that would stretch me. There are several things that make this program unique. One of those things is the intentionality about a community and accountability. This program worked for me because my small group decided to work hard at their learning goals, to hold each other accountable about those learning goals, to encourage one another, to push one another, to walk together in this 3-year journey. And we didn't let each other off of the hook. And the program was designed in such a way where our mentor functioned as the voice of the program to say, don't let yourself off the hook, stay with it.
The mission of the Nehemiah Leadership Network is to reach, recruit, and equip increasing numbers of pastors who are called to lead congregational transformation. Our hope is to add 15 to 20 participants each year and to increase the geographical area served by the network. If you believe that God is calling you to support this ministry, or for more information, please contact one of these persons. Thank you, and God bless.